Hello, 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 hello. This is Tiffany with Healthy Passions. If you do not know me, let me briefly introduce myself. I am a certified personal trainer, certified wellness coach, certified energy healer. By birth, I am an oracle prophetess and a natural healer. Today, I want to start our Herbal Fridays with another message that kind of coincides with the message left last Friday. So if you're not familiar with that message, go ahead and press the playlist and you will be able to find both of the messages in the same spot once this is posted. However, I wanted to briefly kind of talk about what I talked about before about how they are laying off nurses and closing hospitals at a rapid pace. The other news that I don't know if I shared in the last message or not, so I'll just share it here, is that they are now considering teachers and nurses as non-professional careers. So they're doing that so that they could hire in mass at low rates, if they hire at all. It is to degrade the career choice so that they can pay a lot less, which I think that a lot of teachers for sure, not necessarily sure about the nurses' salary, but the teachers for sure are underpaid. However, I know that both for sure are overworked. So they want to continue to overwork and not pay for the service, okay? So with that being said, as a Hebrew Israelite, I make it very known that's what I am. That's the lifestyle that I lead. We should be teaching our own children anyway. The last few years of my youngest, he was homeschooled off and on through that. We should be teaching our own children anyway, if that's possible. And for some of the teachers that have quit or have been laid off, I think that the Black community, Hebrew Israelite community, should consider hiring these qualified teachers for their children in their homeschool environment, if possible. And like I said, the same thing for the nurse. I feel like a lot of these nurses should get together, organize either whether it's a company or something like that, that they could use their expertise in our communities. And we hire them to care for either certain loved ones or a community of people. So that is something that we definitely should organize and look into as we navigate through the fall of this Babylonic system, okay? So that's not the message. Well, that's part of the message, but that's not the main message today. If you look at my community board, I posted silent killers of the carbon being, right? So of the so-called melanated, so-called Black person, right? So these are the major silent killers of our people. And this is where we start. We recognize what the issue is, and then we start to figure out how to correct the issue. So the reason why I put them out, because every chronic disease or disease that we are dying from in large numbers are associated with these silent killers in one way, shape, or form, okay? You're either getting too much mucus production, or you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, so you're overweight. Heart disease is a big one, stroke, cancer, and plaque. So the plaque is considered to clog the arteries, right? So with that, you're going to get heart attacks, bronchial issues, breathing issues, asthma, stuff like that, colds, immune system down, low white cell counts, and it just an array of things that stem from these silent killers. So I wanted to make sure that I did a video today to coincide with the video from last Friday and give you a visual of what I'm talking about as far as naming out what most of the issues are. If you are familiar with Dr. Sebi, Dr. Lalela Africa, in Queen Afua is another one that I looked over the years. They teach about this in depth. Um, so those are the people that I look up to. What I like about Dr. Lalela Africa is almost like they scrub Dr. Africa in Dr. CB's videos from YouTube, but you can still find some every once in a while, right? So just kind of periodically look. But it seems like they scrubbed a lot of videos because those two brothers taught a lot, and they took it off once they passed on or transitioned. But I prefer and like Dr. Africa because he takes what Dr. CB taught to another level, and he makes it to where it's more scientific. Um, in a way, he brings it to like a scientific level. Not saying that Dr. CB didn't. I'm just saying that Dr. Africa combines culture, science, and the knowledge that Dr. CB brought forth of our beings together in one spot. So it's more of a whole lesson coming from him. So that's the one that I prefer, but I suggest you study all three. All right. So, but Dr. Layla Africa is definitely one of my favorites. Dr. CB as well. All right. So anyway, so when we get to the list that I have posted on the community board, we have the mucus, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, heart disease, stroke, and cancer, and then plaque in the body, right? So all of these are going to either affect your bloodstream, the flow of your bloodstream, cause bad bacteria throughout the body. Your body is going to be, it's going to clog the arteries as well. Your body is going to be exhausted from trying to self-correct these things, especially if you're not assisting the body. If you're doing the things that cause these problems and then in return not assisting the body and alleviating these problems, that's where you run into the issue. So basically you're short-circuiting yourself in a sense when you ignore these issues in the body. We are highly susceptible to the chemicals in the pharmaceutical medicines that they combine together. So a lot of times even the Western medicine's idea of the solution to a disease can cause us more problems than benefits. So with us, natural is better. Everything natural, God made natural, is better for us in the long run, just in general. Think of our body as a machine, right? And in order to keep this machine running well, you want to give it the best fluids. You want to give it the best that it has to offer. And the way that we do that is we give it natural food, right? Food with seed in it, foods that grow from the ground or from a tree or a bush, things like that. Now, I am not saying that I recommend you be one diet over the other. What I do recommend as a universal diet is what I call the 80-20 rule. So 80% plant-based, 10% meat, and then 10% allowing yourself to have a little bit of a small moderation of certain types of food, like soul food or cookies, things like that. So allow yourself a little leeway, but not much, if that makes sense. So I that is the ultimate diet for our body types, our species, right? So the reason why I do not push being solely vegan or solely vegetarian is because we run into some issues of getting enough iron or getting enough whatever it is, but we surely don't need as much meat as the American diet has. So the rule of thumb for me with meat, with our carbon-based beings, our melanated people, the rule to meat is clean meats, clean lean cuts. Also, no more than your fist. So if you hold your fist in front of your face, your meat should not be more than that in one sitting. Okay? Because when you do your wrist like that, that's about the size of your heart. So if you're eating twice as much, 3 times as much, that means that it's that much harder for your heart to withstand what comes with the meat. Okay, so you want to make sure you do it in small portions. That is where we are. Now, with that being said, the reason why I'm pushing this information today is because we have to take control over our health. The hospitals, the doctors, Western medicine in general, will not do that for you. As I said in the video before, Western medicine is based on the white male. So anyone who is not a white male may, will or may have issues with the medicine of today or the medical research of today, if I should say. So, especially the black woman, which would be the complete opposite of a white male. Not only is she melanated or carbon-based, as in black, but she's also female. So that's a lot of the reason why we're having such a hard time with the healthcare system. Even with the black male, the exact opposite of the white male, in genetic and appearance and everything else. So that's why they are having issues within the healthcare in the Western world as well. We need to go back to eating what is culturally, genetically, and wholesomely meant for us. Okay? Now, with that being said, I know we have grown accustomed to certain ways of eating. You can have anything in moderation. However, if you're eating this stuff every day, 4 times a week, 3 times a week, too much, okay? You need to make sure that you're eating clean most of the time, and then every once in a while you can indulge in something that you know is not necessarily a great part of your diet. However, I will say this, when you do eat clean for a long period of time, your body will start to reject the junk food or the processed sugar or processed foods. So you may have an incident to where you may vomit. That means that your body's rejecting that thing. It doesn't want it at all. All right. Also, too, sometimes our bodies crave certain things. If you have parasites or if you eat unhealthy, you may crave unhealthy things. But the opposite is true. When you start to eat clean and clean out your system, you may start to crave things like leafy greens, broccoli. It's your body's way, because your body is highly, highly intelligent. It's your body's way of telling you, I'm craving an avocado or a tomato. It's something in that vegetable that your body is needing. So the cravings clean up, and then you can start kind of listening to those cravings and incorporating those foods, because your body knows exactly what it needs. I know for a while I had gained a lot of weight, and I'm the type of person who doesn't gain weight. So when I got into my 40s, I gained some weight, and it had to do, of course, with hormone changes and things like that, a lot to do with that. However, during that time when I was eating unhealthy, I was craving chocolate. And I was like, oh my God, I need chocolate all the time. So when I did some research, I realized that there is an ingredient in chocolate that is found in leafy greens. So I realized I wasn't craving chocolate per se. That's what my body felt I had access to since I was eating so much of it. However, I was craving the ingredients in the leafy greens. My body was telling you, hey, I need more vegetables. I need more deep leafy greens. That's what I need. And that showed up because the small portion of what is in that leafy green was also in the chocolate. So I had to slow down on the chocolate and introduce more leafy greens into my diet. And that's what curbed the craving for the chocolates. And in turn, naturally, you're going to lose weight from not having so much excess sugar coming into your system. So we have to learn to go back to the ways of eating to live and not living to eat. Okay, that is a very European type concept, and culturally, that is causing our demise. We need to eat to live, meaning we need to eat what makes this vessel, this machine, this biochemical machine operate efficiently so that we get the right minerals, vitamins, and nutrition that we need so that we can operate properly. That's what's going on. And with all of the cosmic changes, this is never more essential until now, because we have to be able to keep up with the earth and the cosmic systems that are going on. If we are elevating in consciousness or elevating in our sense of being, we have to elevate in our eating. That's how you help the body kind of occur some of these negative effects from vibrating higher. And that's the way you assist your body in the transition. All right, in the end, you will be more comfortable, and you will thank me later. So these are the silent killers that we have to combat. There are very, very vast varieties of herbs and plants and certain foods that help against these very things. And of course, we are going to find what we have available. So if you're in America, you're going to find what's available in America. If you're in Africa, you're going to find something that's available in Africa or any other island or wherever you're from. There's going to be a variation of that plant or herb or something that does something similar. The Most High was very intelligent, and when it comes to placing the right nourishment in food, medicine, in the areas that they needed to be for the people in that particular area. So just get used to becoming a student. You need to become a student. Study yourself. Also, too, a big part of it is eating for your blood type as well. So if you do not know your blood type, get to know your blood type and look over the diet. Make sure that everything on that diet is safe for a melanated, carbon-based being, and kind of incorporate your meals based on what you have available for your blood type as well. We are vastly different in the Black community, African community. However, we are the same species. So what we do have in common is that our health is going to not do so well in Western medicine. And we have a long history of herbal medicine and of certain foods that help alleviate these diseases or even prevent them altogether. All right. That's all I wanted to say in this message. I didn't want to go longer than this because I'm about to go live in about 15 minutes on TikTok. So you're more than welcome to join me there. Also, don't forget, Wednesdays and Fridays, I do $5 oracle readings, up to 2, so you can do up to $10, 2 questions on those days to offer my services to people who can't afford the regulars. All of my social media lets you know my prices, and everything that is booked, even my 30-minute complimentary consultations, are booked with Healthy Passion Tiff at gmail.com. Healthy Passion Tiff, Tiff, at gmail.com. So if you are wanting some of those services or you want to inquire about a consultation, email me there. I do that for my safety. I don't like to give my phone number out to a mass number of people, so I do use my email to book all my services as well as my consultations. Okay, I love you guys. Have a great day.